What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. This is my first time vlogging in public, so this should be interesting, but I wanted to do this just because I'm trying to go outside my comfort zone more on camera, and I want to inspire other people to do something similar. But me being out here in the open right now actually corresponds with today's topic, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, I want to preface this video by saying that I'm not trying to bash America. I'm not trying to hate on America, act like it's the worst place ever. I'm actually very grateful for being able to grow up here and have had the experience that I've had. It's made me who I am today. So I'm not out here trying to hate on America by any means. I'm just out here trying to diagnose a problem that I've seen. And at the end of the video, I want to be able to provide a solution that y'all can implement into your lives to make the world a better place and to increase the quality of your life as well. So the main thing that I've noticed within society more so, because I'm not saying this is only in America, but just overall society as a whole, but more specifically in America, is the fact that everything just feels the same. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can resonate with that, but what I mean by that is just the fact that we all live such a similar routine, such a similar structure, yet there's such little integration, right? It's very odd how we're all always in these metal boxes, AKA cars, going from point A to point B. Whenever we're at a stoplight, we're just on our phone. And it's like in most cases, people don't even want to go to where they're going every day, like going to school, going to work. It's like we're all stuck in these cycles where we don't even want to do what we're doing. We just feel forced into it. We fall in line with that exact cycle and with that process. And it feels weird how we all live these lives that we don't actually want to be living, but we just kind of settle for it. And on top of that, we live in a very car-dependent society where, like how I just said, going from point A to point B, we're just in our cars, we're very isolated. There's no social cohesion, there's no sense of community. When you don't even see people out and about walking around. But you can if you live in certain locations. Like I used to live in a beach town, and it was a lot more conducive to walkability. Like you would see more people walking around, more people biking, but that's more specific to that exact town and to a lot of other beach towns, mountain towns maybe. And then if you also live downtown, like in an actual city too. But I feel like for the most part, we live in a very car-dependent society where if you don't have a car, you're basically fucked, and you're not gonna be able to really get around at ease. So it forces you to really be isolated. And then, yeah, like I said, people just not even really enjoying their lives, which forces people to live for the weekend or live for the next vacation, which, that's its own issue. But yeah, it's pretty weird because when I lived at the beach, it's like we were all there for a similar reason. It's like we were all there because we were attracted by the beach. We all like the beach, right? So it made it feel like there was more of a social network, and like we had some kind of similarity among all the people there. Whereas here, where I live now in Orlando, Florida, it just feels like the most random place. I'm just like, why do people even live here when there's really not like a unique quality about it? Like there's really nothing appealing that I can really observe. Like, yeah, you're right by the airport. It's an international airport. We have Disney, but it's like, that's just more so for like tourists, families. But like, I can't understand people that just want to live in places like this where it's so mundane, so ordinary. It's like all there is are just like streets, highways, shopping centers that are all the same. Like there's nothing unique about this place. I'm just like, what's the point of just being able to live in a place where you don't even like your job? It's very mundane. There's really nothing appealing about it. Yet you're just going through the motions, kind of living on autopilot all the time, just to be able to enjoy life in very short bursts, But I feel like people are just very conditioned to, falling subject to that cycle when they don't see the bigger picture and don't realize that life can be different. Because I feel like if you grow up in an area like this, and then a lot of other places that are around America too, where it's very similar, like you don't realize that you can go outside your bubble and live a different life. So that's what I'm trying to do within today's video. Just make people more aware that like, if you're unhappy with your job or with your environment, with the lack of social cohesion within where you live, like you can always change that. You can move to a beach town, kind of like what I did, or you can move to a mountain town, you can move to a downtown area in a city, or you can move out of the country, which I want to get into that now. So I feel like what's really made this ideology stick out to me is the fact that, for one, I used to live in a beach town and it was a lot better. And I also went to Colombia about 3.5 months ago, and it really stood out to me how different the overall lifestyle is and just how people live. Everyone just seemed happier, more optimistic, more friendly. There were so many people out and about all the time. It was very walkable because it's a very condensed city with a lot of different areas too, but it just made it to where people actually enjoyed where they lived, like actually had pride in their country. And it just made it to where it felt a lot more integrated, and it just felt a lot more natural, just like a lot more normal there. Whereas here, everything just feels kind of off all the time. When I was there, it's like the main thought that went through my mind throughout the whole trip was that, you know, like this is how life should be lived. You know, you should have a sense of community. You should be able to interact with people on a daily basis. You shouldn't have to like force interactions, because whenever I'm in public here in America, I feel like most people are so closed off, like they're not open for business. They're either just looking at their phone all the time, or they're just not really making eye contact. They don't look approachable. And it's just hard to find people to really connect with. When you're in this isolated way of living, it's just very hard to like penetrate that and to kind of break through and be able to interact with people. And it's like you still can, and there are friendly people everywhere, but when there's a lack of people walking around, when there's a lack of that social network, it's very hard to, you know, find people. Because like right now I'm at a park and there's hardly anyone even here. But you know, whenever I'm like in a more populated area, it just seems very hard to kind of like interact with people. So that's what I'm trying to do within my channel now. Just try to put myself out there, try to like, you know, really be the light and show people that you don't have to live this mundane life. You know, you can create whatever life that you want to create. But I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm just complaining about the way that life is here, because I know it's the same in other countries too. But there are certain pockets within America and certain other countries where you can experience life the way it should be lived, where there is more of a network. Because, you know, the way it is now, it's like most kids grow up having social anxiety because of the abundance of technology, being so isolated, and it's just not really going in a good place. So going to a country where, you know, technology isn't as present and it's not really up to speed the same way, it's a lot more walkable, people are a lot more integrated, it just feels better. And like, that's just my opinion. You know, I'm not trying to bash people that want to live like an average life kind of like this. You know, like some people just want to have security, want to have safety, want to have like a certain structure to their lives, but I prefer having more chaos, more like spontaneity, because when life is so predictable, it just gets boring. And to add spontaneity to your life, when you live somewhere where there's an abundance of people, vibes, energy, there's an atmosphere, then it's a lot more likely to have stuff like that happen, you know? So I want the message in this video to really help you guys, you know, break free of that bubble if you feel inspired to. Because like I said, not everyone's going to feel compelled to do so, but if you feel the same way I do about the way society is and how fragmented everything's become, then you need to be the light. You need to go out in public. You need to create interactions. You need to become social. You need to just like try within yourself to create integration within society, because we need more people like this to kind of break that barrier down. And you can't just like sit around and want it to be different. You either have to accept it or you have to change it. And that goes for anything that's going on in your life, you know? So I'm not trying to sound like I'm just out here complaining. I want to inspire people to make a positive change in the world. Put yourself out there, go out of your comfort zone, and create more social cohesion, because that's what America needs. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, like I said, I want to incorporate more of these walk and talks in my channel. I want to go outside my comfort zone more. I want to, you know, actually live out what I'm talking about right now, to be able to, you know, do what I can to help society, to, you know, create more positivity where I live. So that about wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.